We've learned more information about a shooting in Richmond that killed a man and sent 2 people to the hospital.
Rain continues across much of central and eastern Kentucky, along with gusty winds as we track a blast of colder air into town.
American Pharoah is at Keeneland getting ready for the Breeders' Cup this weekend. We'll catch up with the Triple Crown winner now at 4.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
A missing Scott County man has been found alive. He says he was trapped in his crashed car for days. The Harrison County Sheriff says Wilbur Eugene Herod was found this afternoon after a passerby noticed a car over a 30 to 40-foot embankment. Crews were called to Highway 356 near the community of Rutland just before 1 this afternoon. They were able to get to Herod. They say he was reported missing in Scott County back on Saturday. Herod told them he'd been in the car for several days. He was conscious and talking when rescue crews got to him, although they say he was dehydrated. He was taken to the University of Kentucky Medical Center to be checked out. We'll have an update live from the scene coming up on WKYT News at 5. It's been a very wet and windy day across the Bluegrass. Temperatures are in the mid-60s this afternoon. Here's a live look at downtown Lexington from one of our sky cams. You can see we're getting a bit of a break from the rain right now. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a first look at the forecast. And Chris, it is raining, though, in some parts of Lexington.
It really is. We've got these very teeny tiny showers that are out there, Jennifer, and that's going to be the rule as we go through the next several hours. So instead of that big wall of water like what we had yesterday into last night and this morning, what is out there is a little spotty in nature. And actually, we just had one of those showers here at the station. You can actually still see the raindrops, but in the distance over top of Hamburg Pavilion, the sun is shining. Temperatures are well into the 60s, humidity 76%, winds coming at us from the southwest at 13 miles an hour. It almost feels muggy outside across central and eastern Kentucky. The rain's slowly beginning to dry up. A little heavier bursts of some raindrops on top of the Moorhead area. Farther south we go into southeastern Kentucky, and then once you get into southern Kentucky, especially west of 75, action begins to break up just a little bit, and you see that very light shower that we have here at the station on the east side of Lexington. Overall, though, we look to our northwest, that big area of low pressure and cold front still churning away, and that front makes its way across the region as we go into later on tonight. So that forecast for out and about this evening, still a scattered shower to 60 degrees right around sundown, only mid and upper 50s with a threat for an isolated rumble of thunder. I've got a much better forecast for your Thursday into Friday, but then we focus on a weekend storm system that the timing on that is very, very crucial, Jennifer, to everything that we have going on for Saturday, and obviously that is a lot. I've got a new hour-by-hour forecast to time the rains into town coming up.
We'll see you in 15 minutes, Chris. Thanks. We're learning new information this afternoon about a triple shooting that killed a Central Kentucky father. Richmond police say Joshua Brown shot and killed 57-year-old Steve Martin at a home on Jason Drive off the Eastern Bypass yesterday, then shot Martin's 21-year-old daughter in the foot. Police say Brown then shot himself. WKYT's Victor Puente is in Madison County with the latest. It's our top story at 4.
Police have been back to this home looking for more evidence. We've also learned more information about how the 3 people involved are connected to each other. Richmond police say the man who died, 57-year-old Steve Thomas Martin, was the father of the woman who was shot in the leg. Police say 22-year-old Joshua Brown shot Martin, then the female, then shot himself in the head. He's now at UK Hospital. The woman who was shot didn't want to go on camera, but she and a friend told me Brown was her ex. Police say they have a child together. Neighbors say they heard the shooting, but didn't know how serious it was until police arrived.
I opened the front door, I seen the wall, across the road. My neighbors, I talked to my neighbors, and they said, oh my God, said someone got killed.
Police say the gun used in that shooting was recovered at this apartment. They were back out here about an hour ago, but didn't say what they were looking for. In Madison County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The woman's name has not been released. Police say they don't believe anyone else was involved in the shooting. 2 Knox County parents, Kenneth and Jessica Hooker, are charged with abusing their baby girl. Police say they were called after the couple took the baby with them to an appointment for WIC. Investigators say the 5-month-old girl had severe rashes all over her body and only weighed 7 pounds. She was taken to Kentucky Children's Hospital. Her condition has not been released. Her parents are charged with first-degree abuse of a child. Keeneland officials say the track is ready for the Breeders' Cup. Today they talked about safety and security measures. This morning a panel had a discussion on track safety. They stressed the importance of the welfare of the horses and jockeys competing in this year's World Championships. Keeneland says it tests the track throughout the year, and tests done during the recent fall meet show it's ready.
You know, it's more consistency. So these horses are used to training over a consistent surface, and we just want to make sure that that surface, whether you're 5 lengths off the rail or you're on the rail or if you're on the back stretch or in the home stretch, we want a consistent surface. And as long as you provide that consistency and it's safe, it drains well, then everything else generally falls into line.
The track was sealed before all this rain started, and Keeneland says it is draining the way it's supposed to. We'll take a closer look at track safety and what's being done on WKYT News at 5. American Pharoah is at Keeneland getting ready for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Trainer Bob Baffert hoped to have the Triple Crown winner on the track this morning, but because of all the rain and sloppy track conditions, he had him walk the barn under tack instead. Fans will have a chance to see American Pharoah tomorrow in the paddock during Prelude to the Cup. He's the favorite to capture the Grand Slam of horse racing on Saturday. The Breeders' Cup will help the community in. A volunteer donated 15 Breeders' Cup tickets to the shelter. The tickets went on sale at godsnet.info at 11 this morning. They'll be sold at face value, but shelter officials hope the buyers will also make a taxable donation to help the shelter. We'll hear from shelter officials about how the ticket sales will impact the community in coming up. Our reporters are working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Amber Philpott is in the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Amber.
Good afternoon to you, Jennifer. Police are looking for a burglar who was caught on camera breaking into a Laurel County home. A security camera caught the man breaking into a home in Corbin. While inside, police say the man stole about $2,500 worth of jewelry and electronics. Then video shows him pulling up to the home in a blue pickup. The victims say they don't understand why their home was targeted.
Go to work, my husband works. Our money is to pay bills and occasionally buy something for ourselves or for one another. And to have someone come in and feel that they have the right to take that it's devastating and selfish, and it's sad.
Daniel says this isn't the first time their home has been hit by thieves. She says someone stole their Christmas tree last year. When seconds count in an emergency, dispatchers are often the ones who are the first line of defense. A new Smart 911 program was unveiled this week in Madison County. It allows people there to sign up online and give information about themselves. With Smart 911, you go to the website, fill out your address, personal information, and any allergies or medications that you're on. That way, dispatch is armed with all of the appropriate information they need in case of an emergency. We'll have more details on the new system ahead for you on WKYT News at 5:30. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Amber. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. The South Carolina Sheriff's deputy seen in the classroom video that has gone viral has been relieved of duty. The news came as the sheriff said the officer isn't the only one to blame. Steve Nannis has the latest.
The South Carolina Sheriff's deputy at the center of classroom videos that went viral is now out of a job.
Deputy Fields did not follow proper training, did not follow proper procedure when he threw the student across the room.
Sheriff Leon Lott faced reporters after a swift internal affairs investigation into what happened in the videos. They show Deputy Ben Fields grabbing a student in her seat, causing her and her chair to flip over, then dragging her for several feet.
That's what's caused me to be upset when I first saw that video, and continues to upset me when I see that video, is the fact that he picked a student up and he threw the student across the room.
Police and witnesses say Fields was called to the classroom after the student refused a teacher's instruction to leave because she was disrupting class. The student was ultimately arrested on a disturbance charge. The sheriff said an additional video taken in the classroom shows the student resisting the deputy and attempting to hit him. Still, he said, the officer's actions are unacceptable.
What she did doesn't justify what our deputy did. I don't want anybody to think that. It doesn't justify his actions. But she needs to be held responsible for what she did.
The Justice Department and the FBI are investigating as well. It will be up to those agencies to determine if Fields should face charges connected to the incident. I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
The sheriff declined to release Fields' personnel records. He did say there were complaints about the deputy in the past, but he pointed out none of those complaints came from school. As expected, House Republicans have nominated Wisconsin Congressman Paul Ryan to be the next Speaker. The former vice presidential nominee would replace outgoing Speaker John Boehner. The full House is expected to elect the 45-year-old Ryan as Speaker tomorrow. Stocks rebounding after the Federal Reserve's decision to leave interest rates alone. The Dow jumped 198 points to close at 17,780. The Nasdaq picked up 65. Two of the nation's largest drugstore chains are planning to merge, creating one giant company. Walgreens announced it's buying rival Rite Aid for more than $9 billion. If the deal is approved, the combined company would have nearly 18,000 stores around the world. Experts say buying Rite Aid will give Walgreens more purchasing power in negotiating prices with drug companies. A warning to parents about car seats, not the kind you put your children in, but the ones you sit on. Experts say in certain crashes, some car seats can break and collapse, leading to injury and even death. Chris Van Cleve investigates.
16-month-old Taylor Warner loved the water and was just learning how to walk.
She had about 6 weeks that she was toddling around, and then it was over.
5 years ago, the Warners' 2010 Honda Odyssey was rear-ended at 55 miles an hour. Taylor was in her car seat behind her father. His seatback broke, collapsing on impact, and struck Taylor in the face, killing her.
And it was all because of some stupid car that we thought was the safest thing we could, get for our family to protect them.
But crash tests like this one show what can happen when a seat collapses. The driver is launched backwards and slams into the child's face. Drivers can also be injured or killed when their heads crash into the back seat. And nearly every major American and Japanese automaker has seen similar recent cases.
How often does this happen?
Every day.
Auto crash expert Alan Canner has been examining seatback failures since the 1980s. We hired his lab outside Philadelphia to test the strength of seats and the standard that's low enough even a banquet chair makes the grade.
Do car makers know this is an issue?
Yes.
They've actually known for decades. In a 1996 deposition, a General Motors engineer admitted GM started tethering dummies to the seats during crash tests because the dummies were expensive and the chances of losing them were pretty high. Improving the seats wouldn't be expensive. One engineer being deposed said strengthening them would cost on the order of $1 or so. Despite promises to look into the issue dating back to 1992, the standard has remained the same. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administrator, Mark Rosekind, did not have time to sit down with us in the past 2 weeks, so we caught up with him on Capitol Hill.
Sir, Chris Van Cleve from CBS News. I need to ask you about the 7 seat standard.
Here, we're just going to go. We're going to go. Yeah, we're going
and the tendency to fail in rear-end collisions. We've been trying to get a couple of minutes with you, sir.
They had changed the government safety standards to where, the seat back wouldn't fail, then we would still have a 6-year-old running around.
The Warners settled their lawsuit. Automakers say their cars are safe, meet or exceed all federal safety standards, and have improved over the years. For its part, NHTSA says it didn't have the data to support changing the standard. Since we began investigating, we have found 9 children killed in accidents like the Warners. That's more than the number of people killed by faulty Takata airbags. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Washington.
Overall view of the traffic situation this afternoon is pretty good. The collision we were dealing with at Manowar and Todd's Road has been cleared. Now, still seeing some slowdowns, especially on the inner loop of Manowar approaching Todd's, but a lot better than it was before they got that wreck completely out of the way. Looks like on our drive times right now, everything's normal. Trying to get from downtown Lexington out to the different areas. We're in pretty good shape. As you can see, nothing really popping up. About 23 minutes to Richmond, 25 to Winchester. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Officer Don. It's an event to honor the people who serve and protect us. Deanne Stevens is out and about at Centenary United Methodist Church with details. Hi, Deanne.
Good afternoon. We are here at Centenary United Methodist Church, where tomorrow night is a very special night honoring local law enforcement. This is an invitation for you to come out and be a part of it. Greg Howard is with us, been involved with law enforcement. I won't say how many years. You probably appreciate it if I wouldn't, right?
Well, a while. How about that?
A while, but it is an honor to have you here, first of all, well respected in our community and the work you've done in law enforcement. But you are kind of hoping to help others in doing this. Why are you doing this?
Well, it really started off as kind of a small idea about doing just an appreciation rally for our local law enforcement here in Fayette County, and it's grown considerably, which is a good thing. But I kind of just really wanted the guys and the men and women here to know we appreciate them.
Well, you said there's a need for that in all that's happening in our world right now concerning police officers. It is a good thing for all of us to gather around and show support.
Well, it's a great thing because everybody knows that 99.99% of the police officers out here are doing a good job, and they do want to protect and serve. Started years ago, you know, and cops still feel that way primarily, and we just want the citizens, and I think the citizens still feel that way about the police officers, but sometimes that doesn't get reported properly.
Well, we are reporting to you right now that you can come show your appreciation and be a part of it. It is tomorrow night, Centenary United Methodist Church, 6 o'clock. It is a free event, and we want these pews packed, don't we?
We would love the pews packed, but it could be kind of sad to have all the policemen here, but no citizens to come to appreciate them. And I know that won't be the case. I know Fayette County does love their police officers, and we want them to come out and show it. Pack the house.
Pack the house, pack the pews. Tomorrow night, Centenary United Methodist Church, 6 o'clock. Be here. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about, appreciating all of our local law enforcement. Back to you guys.
It's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Doctors are gaining ground against 5 of the leading causes of death in the United States. The American Cancer Society analyzed mortality rates since 1969. Researchers found a decline in the number of deaths from stroke, heart disease, injuries, cancer, and diabetes. Doctors have found a way to pinpoint a pregnant woman's due date. Most expectant mothers are given a window of about a month. But researchers at Thomas Jefferson University say one routine ultrasound around 37 to 39 weeks can measure the woman's cervix and narrow the delivery date to within a week from the time of the test. This Halloween, there's a high-tech way to figure out which houses are the must-visit for trick-or-treating. Target has created a new app called Treatser. Users can mark the best houses when it comes to decorations and, more importantly, candy.